I'm Sean. Today I'm going to take you through some of the essentials of Tai Chi, really just to get a feel for understanding the body and how the body's meant to move in Tai Chi. So today I'm going to be talking about Yang style Tai Chi, where the movements are really big, nice kind of circles. So if you think about the yin and yang symbol, this is really our kind of yang style, and this really is around positive and negative energies merging. When we say positive and negative, light and dark, yin, yang, up, down, left, right, the kind of oppositions of energy throughout life. So yang style is quite big circles, quite big circles, and really in Chinese medicine or Chinese philosophy, the brain is the heart really. This is our will. So whatever we do in Tai Chi, it starts from the will, which is the heart mind, then comes through to the mental mind in order to work out, well, which bits of the body do I need to move. And then from the mind comes down to the waist. So everything we do in Tai Chi is determined by the waist, so you really need to get the waist moving. Initiated by the feet, so when the feet move, that's when the body's ready to go. And then the last thing to move is the hands, so it's expressed in the hands. So as a thought process, starts with the will, to the mind, to the waist, to the feet, to the hands. And what we're trying to do in Tai Chi is let the body settle into the skeleton. So, you know, when you see the skeletons at the doctor's surgery in old films where they're hanging up kind of with a hook in the top of the head and they're kind of just dangling, that's the kind of sensation you want to get. You want to try and sit into the skeleton. I'm going to show you a couple of techniques for how we do that, how we sink into the body and sink into our energy. So we've got big circles, we need to move the waist, hands are the last thing to move generally. Another good tip on Tai Chi, in most cases, whichever leg you stood on, so wherever the leg has got the energy, that tends to be the highest hand. So right leg high, right hand high. Left leg standing, left hand high. So let's get down into the principles. So the first one really is around extending the So let's have a look at some of the essentials of Tai Chi. So the first one really, we want to kind of stretch up the spine and have the top half of the body kind of hanging into its skeleton. So rather than kind of being tense and holding everything in place with muscle, we want to try and use the skeleton so that the flesh just sits on top of the bone rather than using tension. As soon as we use tension, we're unable then to flow with the energy of an opponent coming in. So Tai Chi, really in combat, what we're trying to do is stick to an opponent. So as a punch comes in, not try and block that energy, but take that energy, just let it carry on its way, so yield in, and then turning that energy back and sending it off. And everything in Yang style pretty much is nice big circles. Yeah, and it's big circles really. The circles can get smaller depending on the application, but really, so as an example, if I talk about hold the ball, we tend to have the top hand covering kind of this part of the face, so in order to block, turn, parry, neutralize or attack, and then the lower hand is protecting all this area, all of the groin. So you really want to be in and around the dantian. I'll tell you about the dantian in a sec, and around this top part of the chest between the solar plexus and the neck. What you'll notice as well with hold the ball is this arm is protecting the ribs, so that's stopping us from getting kind of hit. And we try and tuck down. The other elbow as well. Everything's nice and soft in Yang style. We leave a little space under the armpit, like we've got a little leg under each armpit, and again those circles, they're even out to the front. You know, so I've got a ball here, a circular ball here. I'm curved in the chest, Yeah, so I get like a nice kind of wok shape in the chest, sunk into the body. So let's take it step by step. First thing we want to do is we want to lift up from the crown, the center of the head, and we want to lift the spine up. And what that's going to do is that's going to create a little bit of space in the vertebrae in order for chi and blood flow, and to give us a little bit more movement and flexible, being able to bend. So what we're doing is the top half of the body we're stretching up, and we're doing that by imagining there's a rope or a bit of string just pulling up from the top of the head. Now in Tai Chi we don't want to be kind of walking around like this, you know, so we tuck the chin just slightly in. So now we've got the head being pulled up, nice and straight, chin just slightly tucked in. Next thing is the neck nice and loose, shoulders really relaxed. We carry so much tension in our shoulders, and once you start bringing the shoulders up, even in our Qigong exercises, you're drawing tension up through the body. So you really want to try and focus on just having loose shoulders. The arms, so I get asked a lot, you know, how much do we need to bend in a part of the wild horse's mane or a different move? And the answer is quite simple really. If you tense and straighten the arm and then just relax, that's pretty much where you want to be. And again, it's not pulling into the body, so we're not closing the body up, we're opening the body up into circles. So again, even from a part of the wild horse's mane, there's a kind of bowl shape in front, if you can see that. So again, it's creating circles, keeping the spine up. And what happens sometimes is as soon as we start putting the spine up, we start sticking the bum out. But you want to just tuck the tailbone under. Again, what we're trying to create is energy coming up through the ground, up through the back of the legs, up the spine. We don't want to create any kinks in it. So you see we've got a kink in it, so that energy is already getting stifled as it comes into the chest, into the lower lumbar. So I just want to curve that out, and it's really pushing the stomach in and sitting into the body. So if I wanted to just show the spine position, so we've got a head, chin, shoulders relaxed, sinking into the body, not sticking the bum out, sinking into the body, pushing this bit in. So it's kind of like I'm sat on a chair, and you want to find your comfy space. You want to find where it's comfortable for you, because it's not the same for everybody. Sometimes you just got to bring the body weight forward a little bit and roll into the fronts of the feet. Sometimes you've got to take the body weight back. Sometimes it's just taking a little extra inch, taking the feet apart. Sometimes it's just pushing in, but it's just finding where actually you could stand there for quite a while, and again you're just sinking into the skeleton. If it's uncomfortable, it will be a little bit uncomfortable when you first start in, but if it continues to be uncomfortable, just try adjusting the position just very, very slightly, and you should find it works. Now the waist, I say everything's determined by the waist. To give you an example, if I might look at the moon and I turn the waist, what automatically wants to happen is these hands want to start to come down. Yeah, because I'm turning the waist. If I turn the waist and step, these hands just want to come across. If I turn the waist again, don't really do much with the hands. If I try and keep the hands where they are and turn the waist, yeah, it's letting the waist pull the arms round rather than the arms pulling the waist round. And the easy way to do that is just relax the arms, turn the waist. You know, the naughty schoolgirl or schoolboy waiting outside the headmaster's office. Yeah, don't move the arms. So let the arms just hang, turn the waist, and you'll soon find out that if the shoulders are relaxed or not, because the arms just start swinging. Just give it a go. So the next thing, so we've got a nice straight spine, but obviously in Tai Chi we're not kind of made of wood. So we're sinking, and we're sinking into the body and bending the knees. So we never really lock the knees. The only time you ever want to lock the knees is to relax them. So you can relax the knees, lock the knees, relax the knees. And what you find is the hips tilt forwards, the bum sinks under, and you sink into the body. But that's the only time really, and that's just the same as lock the arm, relax, lock, relax. And it's the same for the legs, lock, relax. And that's kind of the height you want to be. You know, as we progress with our Tai Chi will make your legs really strong, believe it or not. And as we progress with our Tai Chi, you know, then we can start, you know, start being a lot lower. Knees. Knees are pretty precious, and when they go, they're a pain in the, well, literally a pain to put right. So we want to try and protect our knees in Tai Chi practice, and really the way we do that is always trying to check that your feet are pointed in the same direction as the knees. So as an example, if my foot's facing that way and my knee's facing that way, I'm starting to put pressure on the knee sideways. So I always want to bend in the way the foot's pointing if possible. Hips, so this is called the qua, and your hips, you'll find this really helps with the balance, and that's why I mention it in the essentials, because when we turn with the hips, what you'll find, I'll give you an example. So if I put my foot out onto the heel, yeah, so I put my foot out onto the heel, what lots of people do when they're doing Tai Chi walking, which I'll take you through in a second, is just turn the foot out like that and then step in. Not too bad, you know, I can kind of balance there on one foot, but it's not great. I've been doing Tai Chi quite a long while. However, if I put my foot out onto the heel, and all I'm going to do is turn this hip. As soon as I turn the hip, what's happening is the knee is coming forwards over the foot, pointed in the same direction, and this foot is turning out. So I'm not touching the foot, I'm not doing anything with the foot. All I'm doing is turning this qua, this hip, and the foot turns out. Try it. Now when we do that, so turn the hip, now bring the body weight forwards. Yeah, really solid, really balanced. Step out again onto the heel. I'm not transferring any of the body weight forwards. Again, I'm going to turn with this hip as the body weight comes forwards. Goes out. Leg comes forwards. See? All good. Give it a go. Try turning with the hips. And I'll show you that in opening stance. So we've really got two forces. I mean, it's interesting really. So yin and yang, I describe it sometimes as like that jet plane. Jet plane going that way, but the energy, the thrust, is going that way. Two opposing forces. In Tai Chi, in fact, it's general physics. But if we want to go forwards, our energy is pushing back. So if I want to go forwards, I'm pushing backwards with my back foot in order to push forwards. If I want to go backwards, I have to send energy forwards, so pushing forwards in order to go backwards. Same going up and down. If I want to go up, I've got to push down into the floor. If I want to go down, I've got to push up into the sky. It's the same with our bodies. In Tai Chi stances, we want the spine and the top half of the body to be nice and solid, but kind of stretched and proud. The bottom half of the body really rooted and pushed into the ground. So we've got lots of different forces going on. There's, believe it or not, even if you're just starting Tai Chi, there's lots of different postures and lots of different applications for each posture. In all of the Yang style forms, So they're either postures going left, right, sometimes it's both. But really it's trying to learn each posture. Like the forms are fantastic, they're great for, you know, if you want to do a group exercise and everybody knows the same routine. But actually when you learn different moves and the transitions between them, you can make up your own forms. And really if the forms were developed to simulate a fight, and although we do Tai Chi really slowly, actually we do it slowly in order to learn it, but then we should be speeding up, you know, because it's a martial art. And even though you're probably watching this and thinking, well, I'm not interested in the martial art aspect, or maybe you're not interested in the spiritual aspect of Tai Chi and Qigong, or maybe it's just the exercise routine that you're interested in, or maybe, you know, there's lots of different reasons. But for me, only learning one aspect of Tai Chi is like learning how a car works but never taking it for a spin. It's not really about fighting, but it's, if you don't have an understanding of the movement and its purpose, it's really difficult to get the brain into the right place, so we can still be thinking, oh, I wonder if I left the shopping on. I must go and do that later. But actually what we're trying to simulate is, you know, is imagining energies and forces and opponents coming in towards us, and then dealing with those. So let's talk about Tai Chi walking first and the way we step. So the way we step in Tai Chi is we never really move unless the leg is empty. So what I mean by that is that whichever leg I'm going to move, I first need to make it so that it's got no weight on it. And the way I do that is just transfer the weight to the other leg. So now this one is everything standing on this leg, and if you look at my body line, everything's going straight down through this leg, nothing on this leg, it's just kind of dangling on the floor. So I make it empty in order to step. So now I'm going to step, making sure I lift up the knee so it's a proper step, and then I don't step straight in front. And the reason I don't step straight in front is because when I come forward I've got no balance. So what I'm going to do is, as I step, I'm going to step out to the side, just like 30 degrees, no more. Not transferring any of the body weight yet, because I might need to bring that foot back. Now you'll feel the tension on that back leg. That's what I mean, Tai Chi is going to make your legs really strong. So we're going to step out, not straight in front, and plop the heel down. Then we're going to turn with this hip, so turn with the hip, which will turn the foot out. Then bring the body weight forwards, so push with that back foot, push this leg into the ground. So now we're on this standing leg, and this leg is empty. If you need to put a toe down, that's okay. So we're going to step out again, so I'm turning the waist, stepping out 30 degrees. Again, I'm not putting any body weight on this yet, everything's still going straight down this back leg. And I'll just check down, are my toes and knee pointing in the same way? They are. If yours aren't, it's probably because you didn't turn with the quad, with the hip. So now I'm going to bring the body weight forwards, I'm going to turn with this hip again. That foot's turning out, body weight's coming forwards and stepping in. So let's just try that together. So feet together, nice and relaxed. Pull up the body, relax into the shoulders, relax into the skeleton. And then step out 30 degrees. Turn with the quad and the waist. Bring the body weight forwards. Step in. Step out 30 degrees. Turn with the quad. Bring the body weight forwards. Step out. Turn with the quad. Push the foot out. Bring the body weight forward. Solid, solid, be solid. Get all the body weight over this standing leg, and then bring the other leg in. Tai Chi walking. Tai Chi turning. So a lot of the forms kind of go in one direction, left, right, and quite linear. But we need to be able to turn from here to the front, all the way to the back, do a full U-turn, and do that in a Tai Chi way, where we're solid and keep our balance. So Tai Chi turning, I'll do the feet first. So all we're going to do is transfer the body weight over to your left, lift up the toes, turn with the choir again, and step in. So now I'm facing this way. Tai Chi turn all the way round. So Tai Chi turn all the way round, and transferring the weight again over to, you can follow me for this one, over to my left, lifting up the toes of the right, turning the waist, pivoting the heel until the foot is facing the back, turning the waist, turning the choir, releasing that foot, bringing it round. Now I'm facing this way. So it's just about lifting up the toes, pivoting and turning, lifting up the toes, pivoting and turning. So let's do that together. So if you go left leg forward, right leg back. So lean back, turn with the hips, turn the foot out. So we're now 90 degrees and step in. Feet shoulder width apart again. So 1, bring the body weight over to the left, turn with the choir, lift up the toes of the right, pivot 180 degrees. Now bring the body weight forward, turning with the choir and the waist, facing back to the front. Don't worry about your feet because we're going to step out again in different directions. So we've got a Tai Chi walk, we've got a Tai Chi turn. The other step that we have in Tai Chi is we have it in play the lute, white crane. In fact, we have it in quite a lot of the Tai Chi moves. And it's a half step in with the back foot. And what's actually happening there is, you know, why do we step halfway in with the back foot and then take the body weight back? Well, if you think about an opponent's punch or something coming in, it's probably much better if you're going to meet that punch here rather than meet it there when it's at its full velocity. So what we're actually doing, because these moves are kind of coming out to grab or redirect, and then turning the waist, rolling round, even white crane. So again, that whatever attack is coming in, we're meeting it, yeah, meeting it, whatever the move is, we're meeting it, and then kind of pulling that in, sometimes sending it back or just pulling it in and pushing it to the side. So the halfway in step, it's really quite simple. So if you go right foot forward, left foot back, all we're going to do is bring the body weight forward. Just make sure that your hips are facing the same way as your shoulders, everything's parallel. So if you like that, yeah, all you need to do is lift up the heel of the back foot and turn the foot out, and you'll find that your hips are in line with your shoulders. So you want everything in one line. So the half step, what we're going to do, bring the body weight forwards, bring the back foot in just onto the toes. Again, I'm standing on this leg, there's nothing on this. Yeah, I'm just coming forwards. And then all I'm going to do is take that body weight back and sink into this leg. So now there's nothing on this leg, everything's going straight down this line. And it's really about aligning the body to make the other foot empty. So if you can imagine, like when we get into our Tai Chi practice, if you can imagine white crane, so white crane, yeah, everything on this back leg, this is to bang, yeah, so it's block, block, bang. With the feet, and so you want to be solid. Whenever we're pushing out, depending on whether it's a pong as in a expansion or whether it's a strike like a single whip, it's trying to push up the leg, so pushing that back leg in, bringing the energy over the shoulders, hence why we want the shoulders nice and relaxed, the arms nice and bent, and we try not to create right angles. So as soon as we have a right angle, we can kind of be manipulated because the arms don't want to bend in certain ways. So you want to be nice and kind of loose. Turning with the qua, important, and it'll sort out your balance. If you get this right at the start, you know, you won't be kind of worried about, you know, getting your balance, and because you'll be up. I mean, balance comes from the mind, according to Chinese philosophy, but you should just be able to balance just by moving with this qua and being solid and having a peaceful mind. So that's the essentials, really. One more. So here's a nice little essential. So for years, so I've been doing Tai Chi a long time, and for years my teachers would talk about sinking the body weight, and I'd always kind of, right, I'm sunk, I've got a nice circle, I'm sunk, I'm solid, I've got a nice kind of solid stance, shoulders nice and relaxed, chin, spine straight, bum tucked under, legs good and strong. But have I really sunk? And sinking is kind of sinking into the skeleton. So I'm just going to talk you through sinking. Nicely easy exercise for this. So in opening stance of Tai Chi, for pretty much all of the hand forms, we're breathing in and we're breathing out. At this point, this is where we want to sink the energy. So a little technique for getting the right kind of feel for it. So if you let your hands float up, keeping the shoulders relaxed, keep them floating up, and then imagine there's a wooden bar or rail. Just want you to grab onto the rail, nice loose hands, just grab onto the rail, and then just hang on that rail and sink into the body. So like you're getting ready to swing, yeah, and just hang. Find your comfy place, but really imagine that you're hanging on this bar. And then let go of the bar and breathe out and just bring the hands down really, really slow. And as the hands come down really, really slow, try and feel all of the tension and all of the body weight going down into the feet. So again, breathing in, just let the arms float up, straighten the body up just a little bit. So don't lock the knees, but just straighten the knees just a little bit. So reaching up, grabbing the bar, and then swing. Just lean back into it and swing. Let the skeleton just hang. And then when you're ready, breathing out, let the arms come down. So in opening stance, when we're floating up and breathing in, so breathing in, just make sure the arms are only coming up to shoulders. Make sure you've still got that nice curve. You're not kind of coming out like Frankenstein, straight up and straight out and then straight down. It's nice circles, floating up, sinking down. And the hands at the bottom, just bring the hands in, make sure they're coming to the dantian. So three bits actually that I'll tell you about at this stage. Hui yin, bit between your front bum and your back bum, or your ujjayi fidget in your other bit. Dantian, 2 to 3 fingers below the belly button. This is your energy center. So this is your root chakra, energy center that carries all of your life force, all of your vitality. When we run out of this, basically, yep. So this is our kind of energy, our engine room of life. And it's 2 to 3 fingers below the belly button. Then we've got the crown that we're pulling up. And then we've got laogars, which are energy centers in the palms. And what we'll do is, certainly in Qigong, is we have a lot of tension. We create tension in the wrists by just pulling the hands back. And what that does is activates the energy centers and the laogars in the hands, but we'll get onto that in Qigong. So we've got 2 energy centers in the hands. In fact, the body's full of energy centers, but I don't want to tell you everything at the moment. And then in the bottom of the feet, it's 90% of your nerve endings, but also the babbling brook of, or the bubbling brook of Qi. This is what connects us to the earth. For Tai Chi practice, you know, indoors is fine, wearing trainers is fine. You know, do it wherever you can do it, however you can do it. But once you really get it, and then you go barefoot into, you know, a place like this, even just the opening exercise of you know, you really start to feel it, starts to make sense. So, lots to remember. Turn with the qua, keep the spine straight, bend the knees, don't stick the bum out, tuck the bum in. Nice circles, nice big circles. Use the waist, okay? Lots to take in, but I'll take you all through it.